Don't you just love surprises? I know I do. Got home from work today, random box on the porch. Random boxes appear quite often, and you go through that moment of, what have I bought? How much was it? And how much trouble am I in? Well, that's what it was today. This box showed up. No shipping notification whatsoever, but I'm happy to say it's here. This is Skyrise, put out by Roxley Games. Designers are Adam Wise, Gavin Brown, and Sebastian Pouchon. I apologize on that last name. I'm sure I didn't say it right. And if you backed this on Kickstarter, you know there's been a bit of a delay in this. We're close to 2 years before it has arrived, and I'll talk about that once I get into the box. But I think the wait was worth it once you see the components. I will let you know I did back the Premier one. I forget what they called it, but it did come with the metal keys, a metal coin, some wood chips as well, or wood counters instead of the cardboard counters. So your unboxing may vary if you didn't do this level on the Kickstarter. So let's get into the box. It is heavy. It is shockingly heavy. I was surprised by that. And as promised, there is artwork on the inside of the box. Nice view of Skyrise. It's individually numbered. I am 8,084 out of 14,500 in circulation. So that's a nice little touch. Getting in right away, we have the rule book. It is sealed, and let's see if we can get it open here real quick and just take a look at what's inside of it. I think Roxley does this with all their rule books, and I don't know if I like it or not, but it is a trademark of theirs, I think. So good size rule book, same artwork right here that's on the inside of the cover. It reminds me, oops, sorry, I bumped the camera. It reminds me of other Roxley games, the layout, the font. So if you have any other Roxley games, it probably looks at least familiar in that regard. So I did notice they have some FAQs and things on the back, so that's good to see. Probably something that came up in playtest. Bios on each of the designers, which I think is kind of neat. Sorry, we're getting a bit of a glare there on the light as well. So I'm looking forward to giving this a shot here in the near future. Right on the top of this is the game board. We'll open it up. It just is, it's got the score track around it. And I managed to open it up upside down, so let's spin that around a little bit. You can see the score track. Gives you that nice ambiance, I guess. The board feels like it's got a good quality. You know, feels pretty solid, but like any board, we'll see if it warps at all. I'm hoping it doesn't. Then we have our designers, dual layer right away, so the tokens aren't going to slip out, and they are double-sided. So you have different designers to choose from, giving us a total of 8, I believe. Now, I was a little bit worried when I got this opened. This is not sitting in there like it's supposed to, and I just realized why. There is a set of cardboard to punch out. I won't need the key. I'll still punch it out and put it somewhere. But once you take out those and don't need to punch them out, there's the tokens as well. I have the wooden ones. Now they do sit in there as they should. They shouldn't slide around once you got the game board on there. You shouldn't have any issues with that. So that's a nice thing that kind of locks them in. It's got a nice plastic lid here to hold things in place. When we get in here, this is, again, for those that backed it, this was the delay, was the wash on these individual buildings. Now, I will admit, as they did when they showed them off, the camera's not doing it justice. The lighting in my room here is not great. The reds, they're a little bit darker on the camera than they are in person. I think these turned out pretty nicely. Let me see here. I've got something white that it's kind of beat up white, but this might help us see it a little better. Maybe, maybe not. There's too much shadow there. Sorry about that. Thought I'd give it a try. But I think this turned out pretty good for the wash. I think of all the colors, this one might be my favorite because the wash really pops on it. And I will admit, I think the blue is still a little dark. You can see the wash. There was some concern with the pictures online that the colors were too similar. I don't think that's the case. I don't know, for those with color sensitivities, color blindness and such, I'm not sure if these are distinct enough. I don't know enough about that. But I'm happy that the wash is there. I think that looks really nice. Here is the center for your board, and it'll attach to the different city sections. Inside then, that's the bag. Let's see, let's give it the test. And of course that test is, can I get my hand in it? That is tight. I like that it's got the name of the game on it, but boy, I may have to replace this with a slightly bigger bag. I don't know. We'll see. We'll play with it. We'll see what happens. Maybe it'll surprise me. Underneath then they have, I believe these were the wonders that you can build. So these are the individual statues. Now that one, or buildings, I mean, that turned out really nice. I do like how that one turned out. The eyes, let's see here, aren't too dark. You get that sometimes. I don't do a lot of shading when I paint myself, but I know those recesses can be a challenge. Here's the second one. Looks pretty good. I'm going to call that a cathedral. A Star Wars fan in me thinks that's probably Count Dooku. Only because it's red. And he's carrying a sword. Or a lightsaber if you'd prefer. And then the last one here, again. See, now that, depending on how the light hits it, I think it shows up pretty good. But I do think this one still a little too dark. I don't know if they could have done anything different with the color, that's for sure. Then you've got the boards for the city pieces, and they are modular, as you can see. And I haven't tried this, so I guess, yeah, it just will attach like this. And then depending on how many players you have, determines how many modules you put on or how many boards you put on. All four of them fit nicely in here. Well, maybe I'm trying to get out too many at a time. And, oh, look at that. That's kind of nice. Tells you what order to put them in back into the box. That's a nice little touch because it looks like you've got a little bit of a recess on some of the sides, which could prove to be a challenge. The artwork is not super bright. The colors are distinguishable. I am worried. I mean, I can see it here. I'm wondering in low light if those two colors are going to be too close together. I'm hoping that's something they checked out. It doesn't look too bad in this lighting. I can certainly see the difference and the variations, but low light will be a test on that. And here's the last one. Then you get to the bottom here. Nice storage down here. Got our cards here. I can't remember what they're for. I think these are for the wonders and such. A little bit of a setup aid in there. I'm not going to open them up. I believe these were the original score markers to go around the outside of the track. But then they did, oh, come on, they don't want to cooperate with me. The storage is nice, but it's not working with my fat fingers. Instead, we get dirigibles that we can use around the outside. Keeps with the theme. They've got the shading on there as well. Well, that's something I wanted to check out. That is, I don't want to say unfortunate. It's not a big deal, I guess, but boy, it'd be nice to have some shading on here too. Or I wonder, a little dry brushing, because it is so dark, just to bring out some of the details here. May have to give that a try. Maybe take one on the underside and just see how it turns out. A little silver or even bronze dry brushing just to give it a weathered feel as well. So overall, I can understand why there was the wait as we were getting those buildings up to snuff. I think they turned out good. I think based on what I saw with the different trials that they did, this is the best option that they had. Like I said, the blue, maybe I misspoke, and maybe again in a little better lighting situation, natural daylight, maybe the blue will show a little bit more. And of course, with washes, there's going to be variance on each piece. So maybe the one, let's just find out here. Grab a different one here. That one kind of dark in the windows. But if I grab a different one here, they still seem, again, depending on how the light hits, you can see it. But there are some dark spots that are a little darker than I would have liked. Now, I say that without being very good at shading myself. So, in that regard, I'm happy that it's already done, because mine would turn out very blotchy and nothing like this quality. But there you have it. We've got Skyrise from Roxley Games, and going to take some time tonight, go through the rule book, and hopefully get it on the table this week. If you like these videos, I know it's been a while since I did one last, please still subscribe, make some comments down below, let me know what you think if you have this game. And I have a few games coming in. Surprise boxes seem to be coming in left and right now, so hopefully I'll be getting another one of these out sooner than later. But just keep getting those games to the table and enjoy what you've got. Thanks for watching.